If I give him my phone number, just call me. We'll have a conversation. You never know. I lived in New York City. I've lived in Long Island. I've lived in Maine, Massachusetts, 19 states I've lived in. And now I'm in Atlanta. I'm just north of Atlanta, Georgia. You know, I see Yoon, and she looks like somebody I would like to know. And she's on your website, but I have no idea where she lives. That could be passive.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, I mean, and this could be like, I know some of you on here have tried to connect with each other. And so this meetup specifically is not intended to be a dating event and to match people, but of course, I mean, it's a social event like anything else. And if people are interested, they should not hesitate, obviously, with being respectful of the other person's response. I mean, if the other person's not interested, then just move on. But if they are, then that's great, right? And you can continue the connection, continue the conversation. Jimmy Lou.
Yeah, I kind of work for a big company, and I'm always an outgoing personality, so I always say hi to somebody, and just speak to them. You don't know where it might go. Like, if it's gonna be something that you like each other, that might go. Um, I don't date anybody in my specific department, but I met people that way passively, just striking up a conversation in the hallway or in the cafeteria, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, I mean, I know that, for some of you that are still in the workplace, it is not considered, company policy does not allow for you to date people at work. So I'm interested to hear, and especially if you're a doctor, like in Paul's situation, where you're essentially the only social aspect of your life is meeting patients. So what would you recommend to people like that who are sort of limited in how they can meet people through work? But they're spending the majority of their time at work. So
But
any,
you're spending all your time at work, so that's where you meet most of the people. Like, if I worked for a small company, it would never happen. um but I work for a big company. I know their policy, you can't date within your specific department.
Mhm.
um so I know that, but I figure sometimes just making that person as a friend, and it may only remain as a friend, but if there is a possible attraction, then it could lead into that I've opened that door, to say hi. I'm glad to meet you, and there's a person there right now I like, and I say hi to him every day. Have I moved it any further? No, but the door is open right there if I wanted to pursue that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and what about if you're not working for a large company? Like, what advice does anyone have any advice? Frank, do you want to unmute?
No.
Well, it goes back to, I mean, you mentioned work. I haven't been working for the past month or 2 months. I mean, I'm a teacher now, so I have my summers off. Yay, it's supposed to be good summers off and enjoying it. But I'll tell you, in my situation, it's become passive for me at this time because I haven't because of financial situations that I've run into over the summer. So it's kind of limited my interaction to like maybe going to uh, just talking to people at venues and maybe just to do a couple of meetups. But now that I'm in back at school and getting my classroom set up and waiting for the kids to come next week. I mean, I have colleagues that I can turn to, some of the female teachers that I interact with are good. Um, and some of them are. I do have a policy. I For me, I don't think it would be a good idea to date anybody I work with. I mean, God forbid something happens, you fight, you break up, and then you got to see them every day. It becomes very awkward, very uncomfortable. So I'm just, as of now, I'm in the passive stage, and I'm hoping that I can be more proactive, get out of the passive stage, get more proactive, and get out and meet people. I'm talking to a couple of people right now, and as of now, it's passive until the dust settles in terms of what my schedule's going to look like, what my plans are, what my routine's going to be. I'm also meeting people through pickleball, but most of them are married or engaged as of now. So you just got to, I guess, the best way to get out of the passive phase is to keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it will come to fruition. The
And
dust
I
will
think,
settle.
I mean, they say keep doing what you're doing, but if you're just doing it passively and it's not producing anything, then you obviously have to switch to being more proactive about it. So the passive
That's what I'm
thing
trying
can
to do
only
right
work
now.
for so long, right? And if you get like fed up with the passive not working, it's in your hands, right? It's up to you to decide to be proactive. I'm gonna go over to Rajesh.
Hey, yeah, I agree with what Frank just said, passively. But the trick is, how do you? I mean, I think Desi, you covered in the last or the one before that. How do you read signs? Like
Mhm.
you approach somebody, but then uh, being never dated ever, and now out of a long marriage, you are second guessing yourself. I mean, I'm talking about myself. You're second guessing yourself, and you don't know what are the right things to say. I mean, yes, you can say, but you don't know how that person is going to take it. And uh, yeah,
What you're really saying, Rajesh, is that you don't want to be hurt. You're not
yeah, fear of rejection.
by saying you don't know what the other person will say, you're basically saying the other person might say something that is not what you would like them to say, and therefore you may experience, what in the coaching world is known as a negative emotion. And so when you experience a negative emotion, it doesn't feel good. And that negative emotion could be many things. It could be awkwardness, it could be disappointment, it could be, um, you know, I don't know. What else could it be? You guys tell me.
Yeah, and
There's a lot of stuff, embarrassment. So we don't want to be disappointed. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to put ourselves out there, because it takes vulnerability. It takes courage to go and approach someone, a stranger, and to show that you're interested. And
yeah,
you're
I've one of my friend was mentioning, she's single, part of another meetup group. She was at a grocery store, and some guy walked a couple of times, like they crossed path, and she said that he just asked for her number, and she gave him her number. And I said, does it really happen in real life? This only happens in those Hallmark movies, you know?
Yeah, but that's probably not true because we just heard you say it that you
Yeah.
heard the story that it actually happened in real life.
I'm putting myself in that guy's shoes.
Yeah.
I don't think I will be like, hey, can I have your number? Gosh, God knows what could transpire, you know?
What would be the worst thing that could happen?
Scream, yell at me,
Okay.
and if I am not observant, maybe that person is already dating somebody, or worst case is married, you know?
No, that's not the worst case because if they're married, they're going to say, "Sorry, I'm not on the market." Then they move on, right? But
Oh, that is the most subtle reply that I would expect, but you don't know which way it will go because zero experience, right? So kind of.
I'm asking you if you can imagine in your very worst case scenario, what would happen? What would be the thing? Like, I think what you said is that she starts screaming and, like going crazy. Who is responsible for that? Are you responsible for the fact that she is screaming?
Maybe me asking that triggered it, you know?
Well, I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
sure
I'm
that
not saying screaming and all that, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, how dare you? Or
yeah, I think that what you're saying is that there's always the fear that someone could react very strongly in a negative way to a very innocent, you know, a form of like, let's just show interest, you know. So you're being polite, you're being respectful, and you're just saying, hey, how are the pears in this supermarket? Like, it's my first time here, or I come here, you know, all the time. I've never tried the apples, or whatever you might say. You know, you're just trying to open the conversation up. If someone has a strong reaction to that, just know, Rajesh, it's not you.
No, I'm
Something,
not saying reaction to that, like asking how that produces, right? I mean, that is small talk. I'm very good at that. That's not an issue. But like when I heard this friend's situation, like the scenario that she mentioned, I said, wow, that guy has some real guts to just walk over and ask for your number, and you happen to give him the number.
right? I mean, but what if he hadn't? What if he had the story that, oh, but what, you know, that it would be the worst case scenario where she just blows him off, or she's, you know, says something offensive. I mean, then he wouldn't, you know, then he wouldn't have even tried, right? This is
Yeah.
what we're talking about, is like, I know it takes incredible courage. It's gutsy to go up to someone.
Yeah.
And yet, what is the worst thing that can happen, guys? What is the worst thing that can happen? Is a negative emotion. That's the worst thing that can happen. You will have a negative emotion. That's it. And then you'll move on, and you'll still live, and you'll still go about your life, and you'll still, you know, have all the other worries and things and stresses that you have in your normal daily life without this being the biggest thing in your life that happened, right?
Yeah, totally.
You'll just
Totally.
move on. You'll just move on. Let me just get to a couple more people here, and then I want to continue. Let's see. So Frank has spoken, Richard spoke. So Lydia, go ahead.
Hi, I feel so weird being a talking head here, but I haven't figured out how to put my video back on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know.
You're in a very dark room. We can't see you.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Sorry.
there you are.
There you are.
I've really, I mean, it's my first time attending this meeting, and I'm really enjoying all the conversation. It's amazing. It's like my brain is just lighting up. You know, I've heard people say, you know, how do you meet somebody? And I'm just going to paraphrase and say organically. You know, it could happen at the grocery store, you know, for women. And I mean, I will say, I have just not found it very fortunate to meet anybody at like the car repair shop. It always seems like there's some expectation of some transactional thing. Like I'm pretty savvy with the vehicle, so if I take a vehicle in, I know what it needs. I know when it needs brakes. So yeah, I just haven't seen that work out for me as a woman. I guess I'm learning now, and because I've had my last significant relationship ended about 16 months ago, and it was a significant heartbreak for me. But it's been 16 months past, and I've used the time to really explore what did I enjoy best about myself in that relationship. And I learned that I still am the same person after all that heartbreak. Even though it was a heartbreak, I'm still the same person. And I wish that person all the very best too. I guess it is hard to walk up to a stranger and say, hey, I think you're interesting. Would you like to have a cup of coffee? But I agree with you, Desi. I mean, what is the worst case scenario? I mean, of course, there's some exceptions where, you know, there might be psychosocial people out there, but most of the time, people will just, especially, I mean, a guy will kind of blush because men routinely don't have women asking them a question, you know, hi, how are you doing? Or, oh, that's a nice car, you know, do you work on it yourself or something? So it's hard to put yourself out there. That's what I'm saying. But I agree with Desi. It is not the end of the world. It's always good to have a friend that you can go back home or call on the phone and say, guess what I did today?
Yeah, totally. I mean, sharing your wins, guys, just sharing even the small win. even just getting up the courage to go and talk to a stranger, you know, even if, I mean, honestly, like what I say to my clients is start practicing on people that you're not interested in, because it shows,
Hmm.
because your nervous system is not so activated when it's someone that it's just a stranger. You're just saying hello, you're just making a comment, you're sharing something. I mean, even like if you're a woman and you're interested in dating men, even open a conversation with another woman because it feels easier, right? To talk to someone that you are not actively interested in, potentially dating, and then work your way up. So then, talk to a guy, and then talk to a guy that, you're not sure, are you interested in them or not interested? Maybe, and then work your way up to actually approaching, whether it's a man or a woman that you are interested in. So it's build up your ability, your capacity to approach people, to get out of your comfort zone and do these things, because I know sometimes, like deep in our bodies, we just are not ready to do it yet. Our nervous system is holding us back because it's a protection mechanism. We just want to be safe. We don't want to put ourselves out there and be rejected, because rejection feels like death, and we don't want to die. And so we're just keeping ourselves small in order not to, be hurt. And so, and that's it. Like, and if you play small, that's the kind of result you get. If you play big, who knows what can happen? You just have to basically, it's about knowing that you can have a negative emotion and you can have your own back. It's trusting yourself that it's okay to be rejected. It's okay for not everyone to love you. It's like if you can think of yourself as, like a peach or a mango or a jalapeno or cilantro. Like, not everyone loves cilantro. Not everyone likes spicy food and jalapenos. But there are some people that love that stuff. Some people love spice and green and jalapeno, and other people love, sweetness and apples and whatever. And you just happen to be meeting someone who's not into, you being a peach, or you being whatever you are, right? And so you just think of it as, the right person will never pass you by. If they know that they're interested in mangoes and they see you and they're like, oh my God, she's a mango, I love mangoes, then 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 you're off to the races. But if someone is not interested, then it's fine. Like, you can't blame them, they're just not into that, so move on. There are plenty of people in the world who love mangoes, right? So just know that it's not personal. The What I wanted to ask you guys, because I'm seeing someone in the chat saying, so especially women, like in passive dating, women tend to, sit back, right? Like, we want to be approached, we want to be the ones, where we're not initiating, and we feel like if we did initiate, or if we did actually, we're more proactive. Like, if say a guy initiates and they're chatting with us and we're interested, but then we're waiting and waiting and waiting for the moment where they ask for our phone number and it doesn't happen, like that moment doesn't come. How would it be perceived? And this is for a question for the guys. If a woman were to initiate, or if a woman were to ask you for your number, what would you think of that? So
Where are these?
Great,
what did you say, Jeff?
great. That's how I met all the women in my life 50 years ago when I was young and attractive. I was too shy, but I guess I was a good looking guy then. And women knocked at my door. I mean, I had no problem with it. But
Well, you're still good looking.
thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
the camera.
Oh, and
It just,
I'd be happy. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
If some woman asked me, I'd be flattered
Amen.
that she asked me. And, like he said, when I was younger too, I was built like the Hulk. I was literally going to the Olympics in 1970, the weightlifter. I was big.
Wow.
But the thing is, when someone asks you for your phone number, or today, actually, one of my neighbors said to me, I haven't seen you in a while. She took my phone number down. She called me. You know, you never know, but don't have to have a motive, or you don't have to have some goal in mind. You could just be friends. Like everyone said, be friends first. You could take a number, you could talk to them. You want to call it passive, you want to call it sort of semi-active, but you can do anything you want as long as they're accepting, and they will call you or you'll call them, and you can start something. Hey, dating starts in the beginning with a short-term introduction, and it can go to long-term, it can go to any relationship, but it has to start somewhere. And even in a supermarket, I ask some women when they walk by, can you help me? Because I don't have my reading glasses and I can't see the contents. Or I'll ask them if they need help because I'm 6 foot tall and I can reach the top shelf and they can't, you know? So it's the circumstances, but you can't be afraid to ask. You shouldn't always have that thought in your mind, what are they going to like me? Are they not going to like me? The worst they could say is no, or they could run away. I'm a big guy, and a lot of women who were small used to see me and run away because they had been battered in the past and they're afraid of people like me. Why? I don't know. Well, I do know, but
Well, I mean, and just know, Harold, if that were to happen, it's not anything about you. It's whatever story they're telling themselves. Because I am not a tall woman, and I know sometimes I might have a nice conversation with a very tall gentleman. And in the past, before I met my boyfriend, I would be wondering, would that guy be interested because I'm 5'2"? And if they're 6'4" or six whatever, or I would have a little bit of mind drama of whether they would be interested in me because I'm not a tall woman. And because I had a story that tall guys like tall girls. That was my story. Now, is that true for everyone?
No,
Absolutely not.
not.
no.
I
Is
dated
that-
4 girls, but I married a 5'2" woman.
Well, there you go. I mean, I met this very, very nice, attractive guy, like maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago. And he was 6'4". And we went on a date. And my first thought was, he's going to think I'm too short. And we sat down and we had a drink. And the first thing he said to me is, my ex-wife was 5'2", and my ex-girlfriend was 5'2". And he just likes petite women. Like, who knew? But you tell yourself a story and you hold yourself back from opportunities because you think that maybe because it happened one time or twice, or maybe you heard your neighbor tell you how XYZ was only interested, and then you start to think that's everyone, and it's not everyone. And we just have to throw all of those crappy beliefs out the window, because we don't know. Like, every person is so individual. We just don't know, until we start talking to them. And it's interesting how a lot of these insecurities get revealed in the very initial conversations. Because some people are insecure about age, people are insecure about weight, some people are insecure about their height, some people are insecure about their career. I mean, there's all kinds of things people are insecure about. And it usually comes out in the very first conversations, where they want some type of reassurance that you're accepting of them as they are. They just want to be accepted. That's really what it is. I am going to talk about online dating because I know it's a big deal, and it's a big deal, especially for those of you guys who are not able to meet people organically because of your work situation and things that are preventing you from being out in the world more often. And I know that online dating is a huge way to meet people, and I also know that it's loaded with um, negative perception and all kinds of things. People usually, no one has ever said to me, I love online dating. I can't wait to join 10 different websites. Like, I mean, maybe a few guys who are recently divorced have said they love it, but other than that, other than that, there's a huge, perception of online dating as being dangerous, as being, um, just like, completely useless and a waste of time and never going anywhere. And so I hear you guys that that is definitely a lot of your experience. And yet that is the way the most people are meeting each other who are getting married. It's like 40% of the population is meeting each other online and getting married through online connections. Okay,
I
I'm
will
just
say this, that online dating is just full of scamsters. It's just constant, all of them. Bumble and Hinge and uh, just you name it. Anything that's in the 50 plus community is immediately just filled with scamsters. And I found this out the hard way. I mean, they'll scam me, but I'm just saying, and they just want to get your money because there's no, there won't be a platform if you don't pay.
well, and Paul, do you think it's possible to meet someone online who isn't a scammer?
Of course, I
Mhm.
met a wonderful lady last week on this very platform, and I just outstretched an olive branch and I said, "Hey, listen, you know what? Here's my number. Give me a chat if you ever, give me a call if you ever feel like you want to chat." And that was that. And we've been friends now for 6, 7 straight days.
Okay,
Mm.
well, and so it is, you think, so you are saying that it is possible for online dating to produce like a viable connection.
Of course, I mean anything is possible, except scratching your left elbow with your left hand. But other than that,
Other than that, it's all possible. Well, and then
yeah.
so if it's possible, because listen, I agree with you guys. There's definitely scammers out there, but the scammers are not just on the dating sites.
Mhm.
They're everywhere. I get them SMS messages, I get them in my Gmail, I get them in my, they're everywhere. You just have to be smart and savvy about how to avoid them, how to identify them and avoid them. And I also want to say is like if you make generalized statements about things, you will create that belief in your brain, and your brain will look to confirm that belief because that's what our brains do. They like to be super efficient, and they don't want to change too much because change requires effort. So our brains, when you condition them to think a thought like online dating sites are filled with scammers, even if that's not everyone's experience, you will try to look to confirm that thought. Your brain will be looking for signals to confirm the thought. And it's not going to help you meet the love of your life. It's just going to help you meet more scammers because that's really what you're looking for. Um, because obviously you're trying to protect yourself from those people, but in trying to do that, you're actually looking for them. Instead, if you approach it with an openness and just say, today when I swipe or today when I look, go to my online dating site to match with people, I'm going to look for people like me. I mean, just think about it. You are on this app, you are on this dating site, you know the caliber of person that you are, right? So these sites and these apps, they attract high caliber people like yourselves. They're not just for the scammers. Of course, scammers are on them. Like, in this very meeting, we had a Zoom bomber now for the second week. Hopefully he's gone. But, we can't control what other people do, what they say, how they react. We can only control what we do. And if we start to look at online dating as an opportunity to meet people beyond our immediate network, beyond our immediate places that we usually hang out, in order to expand our options and give ourselves a better chance of meeting, someone new, then online dating can really work. And yes, our age group is especially vulnerable because they're all over people in their 60s and 70s, et cetera, who they think are not tech savvy, who are, more vulnerable, who, are just, haven't dated in a long time, so they're not able to read the warning signs early on. It's just a question of getting skilled and getting educated on how to avoid them and then moving on so you can actually make online dating work for you and not against you. So yeah, so online dating. So what I was going to say is, where do you go online? And I'm also interested in seeing what some of you think. Like, are there any sites that you guys have used that you believe are worthy to be tried? I talked to someone last week, a gentleman who has been on my meetup several times, and he said that thanks to me, he was encouraged to try online dating. He'd never online dated before. He signed up for Facebook dating, and he met two women that he had coffee dates with or walking dates with, who are in his town. And I don't think that either one of them is the type of woman he wants to pursue, but he's like, I made a connection. I asked, we met in real life. We had a nice chat. One of them is going to be a friend, and the other one he hadn't met yet. So, there are opportunities online, and I think the sites are equally bad or equally good. There's really no one site that is the magic site that will have only quality matches for you. Also, the person you're looking for is not like like everyone is looking for someone different. So I am a proponent of sites that have more people on them, because then you have more, and the people are on multiple sites, right? They're not just on one site. If you're on JDate, you will not just find Jewish people on JDate. You'll find people who are not Jewish, or who are Jewish but are not, practicing Jewish, etc. So you're going to find all kinds of people on all kinds of sites. Just because you're doing Christian dating online does not mean you're necessarily going to match with someone who's Christian. It's just that obviously the majority of the people will be, but these specialty sites could be good. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try them, but just trial and error. Trial what calls you to try. I personally am not in favor of them. Like, I've had more success on Bumble and Tinder, and I will say, just to take the stigma out of Tinder, it used to be a site that was considered for hookups. So many people are now looking to find a partner, to find a serious relationship on Tinder. And it's because people get disenchanted with whatever app they're on, and they just want to get off that app and onto something else, something new, something fresh. But in the end, it's all going to be the same process. The process is you have to meet, connect, get to know each other before you know if that connection is worth investing in or not. And so, guys, there is no easy way. I know that it's really probably not what you want to hear, but there's no easy way. It's just putting yourself out there and telling people that you are available, and just use your immediate network to work for you. Your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers. The more you tell people that you are actively dating and actively looking for a partner, the higher the chance that someone might, think of someone that they can introduce you to, right? And yeah. So, Gail, did you want to say something? I see that you're asking how to raise your hand.
Yes, I did. I wanted to tell you like a win that I had. I was on Plenty of Fish in 2015, and I met a really nice man, but he was younger than me, and he wanted a woman more his age. Fine. He came to my house. We sat on my patio and had drinks, and he told me that he thought I was a great lady, but he wanted someone closer to his age, and I was 20 years older than him. So I felt the same way. But he said, I have this friend Larry that really needs a nice woman in his life. Well, Larry and I have been dating for 10 years. And Larry is moving in with me in the next month.
That's amazing.
It is. And that was a combination of online and in real life. because Larry and we started texting, then we met in a public place. He brought his mother because she thought she knew my uncle. But it was wonderful. And we text every day. We talk on the phone. I live about 75 miles from where he lives. And it's a place where all my family is. I'm from Omaha, but I'm living in rural Iowa. And so I go to Omaha and we'd have dates and other things, adult activities. And, it's worked for us. But I did finally have to tell him about 2 months ago that I was going to move on if he would make a commitment to living together. And it worked.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I want to make that commitment. And this is a good time because my lease is up. And he said, and I want to get out of a city. I want to live rural like you do. So he's moving here.
Wow.
Yay.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys, listen to this. I am so happy for you, Gail. That's awesome.
Thank you. And I wanted to say that the reason I'm here is I'm learning a lot about relationships just from being part of this group. And it's helping me with Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
dating is just, it's all human interactions, right? Like the way we
Yes.
relate to other humans, the way we relate to ourselves,
Yeah.
it's managing our own mess and
Mm-hmm.
managing how we react to other people's mess. And just seeing when we click with someone, and our own brand of weird matches their brand of weird, and and there you go. Then
Yep.
and that's what happens when you are open to putting yourself out there. And
Mhm.
this is for everyone who is newly single and maybe hasn't been out there in a long time, because I know some of you had long marriages, etc., and it's not natural to be dating, to be initiating, to be flirting, to be navigating all this stuff here. People are people, and you have been, like, if you've had a partner, you've been in a relationship, you know how to navigate relationships, you know how to resolve conflict, you know how to, it's relationships are not a picnic. I mean, we all know this because we've all been in them for enough length of time that all the crap comes up. All your own crap comes up and all of their crap comes up, right? And so it's navigating that in a way that you can build upon it, resolve it. And so, like, I obviously, you may have heard of Esther Perel. She's this awesome relationship guru, and she says relationships go through 3 cycles. They go through cycles of harmony, disharmony, and repair. And it's all about how you repair, because the harmony is easy. When you're in harmony with someone, I mean, you don't have to, it's not a lot of effort, but it's when the disharmony comes up. What happens next? Do you run away? Do you hide? Do you avoid? Do you buffer with food? Do you, get on the phone with your best friend? Like, what are you doing when that disharmony comes up to repair and to rebuild and to make that foundation of the relationship even stronger than it was? So it's in that cycle of repair that relationships are actually built and the attachment is formed. But some people don't know that they are, if their attachment style is avoidant, they just want to escape when the disharmony comes up, and so they don't have coping mechanisms and even communication skills that are conducive to the repair cycle. So they need to, they just need to be aware of that. And obviously change is possible if that is, someone in that. But yeah, it's all relationship stuff. But I think what's interesting is when we're not with someone, we yearn to be with our person, and when we are with someone, sometimes we yearn to be apart from them. So it's never Jeff, did you want to say something? Or sorry, you can unmute.
Well, I had a problem that was not related to online dating. I I have a problem with age. I can't tell a woman's age. I'm elderly now, as you can see. And when I see a woman I'm attracted to, I stop and turn around rather than talking to her because I think she's got to be 25 or 35 years younger than me. So I don't know how to handle things.
So what are you telling yourself about age? What is the story you have?
Then I'm an old man and I'm not attractive anymore. And if I'd be delusional to think that a woman I'm attracted to is going to be attracted to me.
And why is that though? Like, is it, what if I mean, like, I don't know if there's any other women on this call right now, but you seem, because attraction is many things, I mean, physical appearance and age is just one aspect of attraction. But confidence, personality, lifestyle, values, these things are really important as we get older and can actually count for a lot more than the initial chemistry that you might be feeling with someone. So I would say, like, think about this, like, there are all types of people out there, and you just need to see, like, what if she is 20 years younger? What is your story about that?
I have no problem with it. I've dated women of all ages over the years. But I mean, 20 years is acceptable for me. I don't know whether a woman would feel the same way. And also younger than that. I have a 30-year-old daughter, I'm 75 now. I can't believe it. I just turned 75. I don't project as a 75-year-old, but I am. And so even a woman who's 50 is going to be 25 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Well, is it though? I mean, is it crazy to date someone 12 years younger than yourself? I mean, if she's game, if she's open to it, if she's interested, why not? I mean, I would say, like, anyone that's, of adult age, as long as it's a mutual thing, like, it's all, up to the two people to make it work.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm intruding, and I don't want to be thought of as that nice old man, and I don't want to delude myself into thinking otherwise.
Well,
Guys, I will just say that there's a lot of stories we tell ourselves, and these are stories that are untrue, because for every person that might actually prove our story, there are people that disprove the story. And so it doesn't serve you to have that limiting story about what's possible for you. If you are a man who is presenting at you feel that you have the energy, the vitality of a younger man, forget the age, forget the number, forget, the year you were born, forget how old is your daughter. In the end, it's about the connection between the two people. And if they're both consenting and they're both interested and there's enough common ground, compatibility in terms of who you are as people and what you're looking for in life and values, etc., who's to say it's wrong? Like, go for it. Go for it. Like, I mean, I have a friend, her dad met someone, he got divorced from her mom a long time ago. He met someone who is her age. Okay, my friend is my age. She's now, I'm in my mid-50s. She's my age, and her dad met someone, I guess, 20 years ago. And they've been married very happily, and she has befriended her stepmom, essentially, even though her stepmom is her own age. But she has a lot in common with her stepmom because they're the same age, even though her stepmom happens to be married to her dad. There is no right or wrong.
It's a right or wrong. It's just
ever speaks to you, and if it's another consenting adult, that's really, anyway.
It's uncomfortable for a lot of men. I'm 70 years old. I would never go out with somebody my daughter's age. My daughter's 36 and I'm 70. I could never tell my daughter I'm seeing somebody her age or a year younger or a year older than her. It doesn't feel right to me. And how can I relate to the things my life experiences? I've been through the Vietnam War. Do you have Martin Luther King, John Kennedy, all that stuff? And they don't even know where Vietnam is. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told someone I was at Woodstock a
that-
few weeks
there was-
ago and they had no idea what I was
Yeah.
talking about.
I know.
But see, this is what I'm saying. Of course, there's pros and cons to dating people that are in a completely different generation from you, right? I mean, so you have to weigh the pros and cons. You have to accept that when you are dating someone 20, 25, or even 10 years younger than you or older than you, there are going to be, cultural references that are not going to resonate. It's normal, and if that's something that matters to you, if you want to share those things with someone, if you want to have those inside jokes or relatable experiences, then who you should be dating is, you probably want to date someone closer to your own age, and you have the answers inside of you. These are not answers that someone else can give you. Yeah, the session could go on for hours. I know there's this really interesting topic. So let me just, because I know that we could go on for a long time, but Maria, go ahead.
Oh.
You haven't said much.
Hi. Nice
Hi.
to meet you. I finally made it.
Yeah,
I've been trying for a while. It's hard for me because of work, but I think you've already answered my question. It was when I first jumped in, you guys were talking about approaching people, even at the supermarket. And I've had situations where I know I was online, I know that we were flirting, and it was mutual. And and I was saying, okay, how do I delay coming out of here? Because I wouldn't mind continuing to talk to this guy. And as a woman, and maybe it's the old data still in my mind and situations that I've been in that have been uncomfortable, that tells me, no, you cannot make the first move. You have to wait. And I've had that in my head many times, Desi. But I have to say, listening to you and to the group here and hearing men saying they wouldn't be put off or think that I'm too forward, it's encouraging. Yeah, so thank you. So
Yeah.
you kind of answered my question.
Well, listen, I'm giving you permission to,
Thank you.
if that's what you need is permission to
Yes, I
approach
need
men or
permission.
ask, yeah, you have my permission. I know,
Thank you.
I'm telling you, that's sometimes all you need is to get permission from someone that it's okay, that you're not breaking any
Yeah.
rules, that no one's gonna
Thanks.
arrest you if you did this. And it's just, I mean, it's
I just didn't want Desi, I just didn't want to come across loosey goosey here, because that's not who I am, right? I don't want to be misunderstood or any of
But
that
it's
stuff.
not, it's very valid because especially I think in our culture, we've been conditioned that women
Yes,
are the ones that need to be courted and need to be
right.
wooed and etc.
Yeah.
And it's always the man that has to make the first move. Why? Why?
Well,
honestly, guys, we're at an age where what if we don't have time to lose, you
right.
know?
And have you heard of Burn the Stack? Have you heard of
Yes,
that?
I've heard about it. Yes.
So I'm thinking, okay, she is saying what I am feeling, that I need to sit here and wait. And if I don't, there's a problem. So, I don't fully agree with her, to be honest with you.
What is it,
But
Jenny something?
I don't know her name.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but her
Yeah, the
book is
Burns
coming out.
haystack method.
Mhm.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
I don't.
like she does this thing called block to burn. It's very harsh in my
That's
view.
what I thought. I was like, who are you? I mean,
Well, she's just someone, she's a researcher, she's an author,
yeah.
she's obvious, she's a communication expert, I think.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
She is. And she has this following of, it's a women site for women. Facebook community, and it's called the Burns Haystack Method, meaning that your needle is in a haystack, right? And to
Right.
find your needle, you need to burn the haystack down,
Right.
and then
Right.
the needle will present itself. And the
Right.
haystack is all of the people that are just not resonating with you. So for whatever
Right.
reason, they're not the right person. You know,
And
what she says is you need to block them and burn them, you know, as part of the
right.
haystack. It's just the analogy to me is a little too like aggressive.
I agree. I agree. I understand that in online dating, I tend towards being kind and generous. And there are times that I have spoken to people that I should have blocked and whatever. And from that perspective, I understand where she's coming from. And I'm like, yeah, I needed to do that way sooner. Um, but it did feel very harsh to me as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's a different way of releasing people that are not your people, and that's, you know, I follow this other dating coach, and you know, she says bless and release, meaning bless them and release them. If they're not your person, if you know you're into I don't know, grapefruits and they're not a grapefruit, just bless and release them, because
That's what I've done.
there's no point continuing a conversation knowing that this isn't the right person for you. And
Correct.
just be courteous and be polite and just say, sorry, I don't think we're a good match. I wish
Right.
you well, move on. I mean,
Thank you.
it's just part of the process, right?
Yep.
And if, on the other hand, someone is resonating with you and you are interested, honestly, guys, just you know, say something, just show them that you're interested, whether you're a man or a woman or, you know, whatever gender you might be, just show them you're interested. It's like I said, the worst that can happen is an emotion, and then you can get over it. And then you can share your wins next time we meet on this community. So I'm gonna wrap this up because we've gone over time quite a bit. Okay. I'm just reading things in the chat to see if there's any questions. Yeah, well, thank you all for your time, and thank you for making this session. And I will say that I am getting ready to send you some information about my small group program that I'm launching in September. And I will be sending it initially just to the wait list because I promised you guys that you're going to be the first to know. So I'm going to just send you the info on Thursday is when I'm going to open doors to this program. So you will be receiving my email then. And if anyone wants to get on the wait list and find out more about my group coaching, you guys can join the wait list. And I don't have the link ready, so I can't post it here, but you can either direct message me, or I'm also going to follow up with an email to the meetup group as a follow-up, and I'll put it in that email as well, so you can find it in there. Okay, well, thanks again. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Community, thank you all for participating, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Thank
Desi.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.